Angels around me, I'm keeping several. That's the only thing I know keep this together.
What's up, everybody? Bueller here again, and today we're going to be looking at a snippet from today's stream. We streamed for a little over 3 hours today, but this is just a small 34-minute clip. I'm just going to be kind of skipping through it, discussing part of the ideals behind some of the different things we're looking at, price action based. But yeah, so please leave a like on this video. We're going to try and get 30 plus likes on this one. Thank you guys for the support on all the videos lately. We have basically 50 likes on all my recent videos, so I appreciate that so much. I appreciate everybody. And I have the audio muted because it still has all my talking on it. I don't really want to share all that, which I guess I can share it when we jump over to the Tesla chart, but I'm just here to kind of skip through it. I don't want to have it kind of overlaying with my voice right now as well, so be kind of confusing to listen to. But overall, you see me just kind of switch over to SPY, and you see me, I'm going to pause it here for a second. What we're looking at here is a really good resistance trend line, and we have a low and a higher low so far. So I'm kind of watching this as a resistance and this kind of angle here as a support, and we're just waiting for any kind of move to help us double confirm any other moves that we see on any individual charts like Tesla. That's what we're going to be looking over. So basically, in short, what you're going to see in this video is price move up towards that trend line, not really necessarily break it quite yet, making the Tesla first breakout not so hot, and then SPY goes for a second try. On that second try, it then helps Tesla's chart it helps it so much more. And we took a live trade in chat today, in stream. I posted it in text channels, so it was posted everywhere at the same time. But really awesome quick scalps, and it was using our main strat, the buy the dip strat. And this is again when you wait for a base, a low, a higher low, or even just a double bottom sometimes. But here we get the better low to higher low scenario. And then you wait for that second push over the EMA with rising volume. So we've already had pretty good volume above the EMA here, and then this one pushed the new high. So we're going to get a little bit of slowdown here before this even has a chance of taking out that trend line, right? So we have to expect some sort of, consolidation here before the breakout, if it's even going to happen here, right? Because it could definitely come back down, chill in range for a little while longer. But we end up getting, you see me switch over to Tesla real quick. We'll talk about that for a second. And this is kind of where I started talking about it. So you see how we have just one touch of this level, this 915. And if I go back 10 seconds, we might be able to see what that is real quick. Hopefully I don't have to switch over to my chart. All right, so 915.20s. That's the previous day open, a very big pivot point that we'd like to look at, as well as a really good significant level besides that. Even if it wasn't where we opened. We sat as support here, we broke under, rejected from it, held under for a very long time during, I guess, right before lunch hour that day, and then we ended up breaking out a little higher. So very significant level overall, and you can see that's where we ended up bouncing from here. So it's just a good kind of start to our move, kind of like you saw on SPY. It was just a good start to the move. We still have that significant resistance above, so it's not anything to get super excited about. And with the buy the dip strategy, you're going to see that first move, you're going to see whatever the leg up is, from one down, two down, it doesn't matter. The first leg up is always going to be a not as high probability breakout as the second one. Whenever you get that second pump, yes, that's a lot higher probability when you get that rising volume. Can this continue higher? Yes, it definitely can. But as I tell my chat, it's not as sustainable. I'm not going to say it's parabolic, but it's definitely a less sustainable move if you're going to be getting into that first, bounce. But using SPY as double confirmation, we knew that we had resistance. We knew there was a slowdown possibly going to happen before the better breakout. So let's jump ahead. And let's see, this is where I start covering a bunch of other charts. And you can see we're just kind of trading slowly. SPY still not breaking out on that trend line yet. And we get that slowdown, the anticipated slowdown that we've been discussing. And this was also brought up in stream very heavily. And you can see we're getting that slowdown. So again, like I said earlier, this has one good low from a good level, but a second higher low would be better. Whether it's up here, down here, it doesn't matter. We're looking for some kind of slowdown for sellers here now to get that better pump, right? So that's what we're going to be looking for. And then also kind of switching back and forth between SPY to see, all right, is this going to try and break this area? I think I started looking around a couple other things at this time. Oh, we did the whole TA routine right there. Hold up, I got to skip through all that. Yeah, so I did a bunch of TA routine on Apple there. That was for the anybody in stream catching that. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize that was in here. But let's pause it and update ourselves. So since then, which this is kind of where I left off before skipping over to here, we had a little bit of a bullish engulfing kind of step in for the meat of the bone of the candle, and they made that new high with good rising volume. Not amazing volume, but it was decent average as it pushed that 9. So again, giving us one good low and a potential second higher low. Again, not a double bottom, but we end up getting the higher low. And I'll show you a second another cool tip that we use to try to find these. So now we're looking for another good pump. This is basically helping us push up. Where would be an ideal target? You know, we fell from here. We had support here, fell from there. So that's going to be a good farther target. But a better closer target is going to be right here where we have clear resistance. So as we're pushing towards this resistance, it's going to be good to take small profits. You could even say it's a small inverse head and shoulders kind of setting up here. I'll skip ahead a little more. I think I'm screenshotting that for chat. Still just holding that base, and then right there. So let's pause it here since we didn't really get a good look at SPY. You can see I have all my levels ready. All right, so since the higher low, we talked about that earlier at the beginning of the video, we had the slowdown that we highly anticipated. They also held a higher low. The 9 EMA catches up. They end up holding on 414, and they end up picking it back up. So this is where Tesla's going to possibly get that better continuation, since now that they will also be on the same page as SPY, you know, where Tesla was trying to break out, but Tesla was at SPY was at resistance, and Tesla was trying to break out that first time. It looked really good for Tesla, but not so much for SPY. So putting those in consideration of each other, you can see as SPY starts to finally start pushing more buyers, pushing up higher. We're not saying this is going to fly, like it's going to go to the moon from here. We're just saying this gives Tesla a chance to potentially get that momentum that they need to go touch that near resistance. You can see we have it marked now. And earlier in the stream, I didn't get to go cut that part because I really wanted to talk about the base build more than I did the open range breakout. But this was the first live trade we had posted in the stream. Ended up cracking under 928.50s where we had called out. We had rising volume into this candle as it broke lower. Traded a little bit to the right. We get a long-legged doji. Again, this is just a sandwich candle. You're looking for a break up. In that case, we'd cut. Or a break down. This is basically the new range you have to watch because this is the sandwich candle. This is the next signal. So whatever comes next, you go with it. Ends up breaking the new low. Good for puts. Next candle starts showing some buyer strength at that next level at the 922. That was our target. So very, very good job if you guys end up taking profits on that. And you can see they came back up, tested, and even came back down for a lower drop. Very nice. Let's get back into what we were talking about. And Tesla here, still holding that 923.50s, looking like it wants to go test that area. And you can see I was kind of highlighting it with my mouse, and there we go in the video, actually highlighting it. Let's jump ahead a little bit. And this was towards the end of the stream, but we started getting a pump into this. This is where we started taking profits. We ended up taking profits for about 11%. I'll go find that in chat in a second. But you can see SPY ended up pushing, but not getting over that high. So a really good time to take profits, not just on Tesla's chart because you could see it was hitting resistance, but also because SPY not looking like it wants to take that ground quite yet in this day trade. So we're really not trying to risk ourselves too much. You can see perfect timing. We end up getting a sell-off the rest of that. Very nice. Let's like it on the chart. Whoops, that's a meme. Here we go. You can see since then, SPY has really still not pushed past that. I think I drew that on this chart. I did. So yeah, since then, they've just kind of sold off. They made another higher low, if I end up grabbing from there, from our first angle, and they really haven't broken that still. So buyers have shown some strength, no continuation, no good follow-through, but sellers have also shown the same. They have not had any good follow-through to this drop. But it would be nice to note that we are still red under open, and that other chart you saw was just a breakdown of our daily time frame, just using some of the more simple levels, whereas the other chart I'm using as many levels as I can to help me on the smaller time frames. So I use less on this time frame to help me out with the simple view. But you can see we're perfectly trading inside of this, which is also what we highly anticipated in the stream today. So we'll be looking for any kind of moves outside of this area. This being kind of the slowdown candle is our last rising volume candle before getting two hammers popping, or inverted hammers popping up. We get a bullish kicker into resistance, and now we have this kind of forming in between that area, which is very significant because this is where we sat for almost 2 weeks before dropping further. So very, very big consolidation area. We'll possibly get the same result on this side of the chart as well. So we're going to have to look for big amounts of volume to get out of that. As you can see, we ended up producing multiple inside bars, multiple haramis, but before we exited anything, we had to have volume. volume had to step in for this chart to move at all. So that's what we're going to have to wait on for this chart as well. Whether it's to go down, whether it's to go up, gonna need volume. So wait for a good rising volume closes after good patterns pop up. So pretty good bullish pattern here, just looking for some good bullish volume to step in. I would still look for more bearish signals to pop up before taking rising volume closes out of this range. But this is kind of the summary of the video. Let's go to Tesla real quick. And I'll show you what we were talking about on there. So this was the other thing I wanted to show you in the video that I didn't see in the replay, I guess. I must have skipped over it. But as you can see, we end up grabbing from the low of the day to that first pump. Remember when I said the first pump is something we can't trust? It is a really good spot for grabbing info. So this is where we hit support at 9.15s. We end up grabbing our resistance here, and this gives us just a good fib range. So if any slowdown or pullback happens after this, we can see where to and see if it's significant. They end up going right to the 50% control point. It's just a fancy way of saying the halfway point between this area where we had our low and this area where we hit our first slowdown point. So using this 50% fib, sometimes we end up using the golden pocket. Both of these are really good. If we would have wanted to play bearish positions, you could take scalps from here, the golden pocket under. But what you're really going to want to wait for is the open range breakout. But that would be how you play that if it did go against us. Again, always planning for both sides, no reason to be biased. But as you can see, bullish engulfing ends up stepping in, and like we saw from the video, end up going up and kind of hitting that area where we were looking towards. So really good job. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I can do more of these. If y'all want more stream clips to come out, I'll definitely do that.